All right. Got a lot of material to go, so let's rock and roll, to quote the great Chuck Norris. Now, psychologically, Toohey's power lusting is driven by his terror and his helplessness in the face of reality. His survival depends on his minions. They serve as a buffer between him and the world. And of course, they also assuage his chronic terror by giving him a sense of mastery and efficacy and power. Morally, Toohey's power seeking is based on the distilled essence of the altruist collectivist code, the doctrine that an individual acquires moral worth only by means of sacrificing himself to others. For Toohey well knows if as a matter of moral principle a man demands human sacrifices, he intends to be the beneficiary of them. And Ayn Rand pointed out in Toohey's personality, and Toohey even says as much to Keating. Remember, Toohey says to Keating, if you come across somebody who tells you to live your own life and pursue your own happiness, he's no threat to you. But if you come across somebody who demands self-sacrifice, run as from the plague, because he intends to be the beneficiary of those sacrifices. And cognitively, Toohey's power lusting follows inexorably from betraying his mind, from abandoning his reason, from abandoning an unbreached commitment to reality. Because Toohey adopts this social metaphysics, this social primacy of consciousness. What that means is, having surrendered his means to deal with reality, his mind, his survival depends on mastery over others. As Roark states, the creator survives by conquering nature, the parasite survives by conquering those who conquer nature. And Toohey, of course, is the second kind. Remember, there's two kinds of power, and only two kinds. There's the power to create, and there's the power to destroy. Roark, is the embodiment of the power to create. Toohey is the embodiment of the power to destroy. That's why the analogy I made before, it's Toohey's very weakness, his helplessness to deal independently with reality, that makes him so dangerous. By analogy, he's a virus. A virus has no capacity for independent life and can only survive parasitically off a host organism, and in some cases will destroy that host organism. I'd like to tell the viruses, just evict them. So go out and live independently. Go out and live, joyously, happily. But they get out of me. But they are incapable of it. And given the choices that Toohey has made and continues to make, he's incapable of independent life. He's got to exist solely as a viral parasite on the lives of others. So, this, of course, in contrast to Keating, this is a second method of seeking survival on the premises of the social primacy of consciousness, or on the premises of the dominance of society, that society is reality, and that is control society, control the group. Now, because of Toohey's cognitive dependence and his moral failings, i.e. because of his comprehensive betrayal of his rational faculty and his attempt to understand reality, his whole mental energy is devoted to the schemes and the plots and manipulations necessary to control others. Because of this, notice that he fails utterly regarding his two primary goals in the story. He's defeated by Roark in one endeavor and by Wynand in the other. He wants to stop Roark, and end his career, and he fails at that miserably. By the end of the story, Roark is a resounding success, and on his own terms. He's the designer of the Wynand building, the world's tallest skyscraper in New York City. He's the designer of Cortlandt Homes, which Roger Enright has bought, and Roark builds as he designs it, and he's acquitted at his trial. So he's now, recognized as an honest man, an innocent man, and a great architect. So Toohey's failed abysmally in that goal. And he fails, of course, to wrest control of policy of the Wynand papers, which was his second goal. Well, let's take them one at a time. Regarding Roark's career, Toohey exerts enormous control over powerful social institutions. As but one example, the bureaucrats who run the Cortlandt Project are his lackeys. But Toohey misses the vital point that Roark's success does not depend on social institutions, however powerful. Roark, the builder, exerts mastery over nature, not over society. Roark has the power to create, which is, of course, the power to do good. The only social policy that Roark requires is political economic freedom of the capitalist system. Given this condition, nothing can stop him from building, and secondly, nothing related to that, nothing can prevent such independent thinkers as Dominique Francon, Ken Lansing, Roger Enright, Austin Heller, Gail Wynand, et al. From recognizing Roark's genius and from praising his work and or patronizing his business. Toohey has influence only over such weak-minded individuals as Keating, none over independent men. Notice that Dominique is part of, when she's trying to lure people away from Roark to Keating. Notice that, she's a temporary partner in an anti-Roark alliance. Notice that she can influence the second-handed Joel Sutton to abandon Roark, but not Roger Enright. Now, regarding Wynand's paper, Toohey does succeed in momentarily wresting control of the Banner's editorial policy from Wynand. Remember, he warns Wynand when Wynand fires him. He says to him, I'll be back, and when I do, I'll run things around here. He warns Wynand of that after he's fired. And Toohey is correct on both counts. He is reinstated by the labor board, and his boys now, his boys are in positions of influence all throughout the paper. So he's right on both counts. But his triumph is extremely short-lived. It lasts about 30 seconds. For Wynand, recognizing that Toohey's cancerous presence will result in the death of all healthy elements of his newspaper, his baby, chooses to shut the paper down, in effect to kill his own child, rather than turn his life's work over to such a vicious scoundrel as Ellsworth Toohey. He'd rather kill his child than turn his child over to the Nazis or communists, which I think a lot of parents probably would. Wynand has the power to create a journalistic empire, however corrupt. Toohey does not have the power to create that. He only has the power to insinuate himself into its organization and then destroy it from within. When Wynand shuts the paper, Toohey is powerless to revitalize it. 12 years of relentless scheming are wasted. Time marches on, the radio blares in the background. 12 years of relentless scheming are wasted down the drain, finished and made irrelevant by one decisive action on the part of Gail Wynand. Toohey must now start over on somebody else's newspaper, beginning the remorseless, decades-long process of insinuating his viral presence into yet another healthy organism. Now, and besides which, the Banner had the widest circulation anyway. So it's going to take Toohey years to get back to that position of influence, and on a paper with less circulation. Now, what are the deeper reasons of Toohey's failure? In Ayn Rand's philosophy, in her objectivist philosophy, the good is the independent rational mind, understanding nature and improving human life on earth. The evil is the abandonment of the irrational mind for irrationality, and therefore for the destruction of man's life on earth. Roark, of course, is the life-giving epitome of the first, the independent thinker, the rational mind who can create values. Toohey is the death-dealing essence of the second. He's renounced his own minds, renounced independent realities, focused only on the group, and he survives by, of course, gaining power over the group and thereby destroying their capacity for independent life. The rational men, the independent thinkers, the Roarks, can deal effectively with reality. They can build, create, grow, thereby promoting human life. But the irrational men, the Tooheys, can build or create nothing. They can only destroy. Now notice something, I think there's an important point in the Fountainhead, and that is, in a free country, or even a semi-free country such as ours, the Tooheys can destroy the Wynands. They can destroy those who voluntarily provide them a beachhead in their lives. Remember, for example, Wynand chose to hire Toohey. He brought Toohey into his empire by choice. He did it because he's pandering to the mob, to the herd, and Toohey's popular. Toohey was a means of gaining wider circulation. The Tooheys can destroy the Wynands in a free country who voluntarily, bring them into their lives, but they cannot destroy the Roarks, those who give them no foothold in their lives. This is why the Tooheys seek to establish a communist or fascist dictatorship. For under such a collectivist regime, they can deploy the police power of the all-powerful state to legally suppress, incarcerate, condemn to slave labor, or execute the independent thinkers. Yeah, Jenny?
But that's only while the country remains free. If the second-handers take power and cut off those freedoms, as in a free country they very well may, by manipulating the media. If Toohey was more successful, as he might be in a slightly different situation, then even the Roarks are cut off. So what defense does Roark have against a Toohey who was by chance in a better position to seize, say, political power?
That's a good question. She's pointed out that the Roarks can survive the Tooheys in a free country. They have no chance under the communists or under the fascists, where they'll be dragged off. Roark's the first guy in a concentration camp under the Nazis because he speak out against the regime, or they recognize him as a threat to do so. And similarly, under the communists, he's the first guy in a gulag, under Stalin, for the same reason. The only chance that the Roarks have is to support a free country. It's the only chance. This is the one critical reason why we have to support freedom, why we absolutely support freedom of the mind. So this is the reason why Ayn Rand was a ardent supporter of laissez-faire capitalism as the only system to support individual rights. It's the only system that liberates the creative individuals at any scale of ability, from the smallest to the in between to the largest. It's the only system that liberates the creative individuals to live creatively. So Roark has no chance under a totalitarian state. He knows it. His only chance lies in a free society. This is why it's desperately important to support freedom. You suppress all creative thinkers under dictatorship, and you necessarily regress to the Dark Ages. That's what happened under Christianity. It happens under the Islamists, like in Afghanistan, for instance, and under the Taliban. And it'll happen if the communists or fascists ever take over the whole world. That's Ayn Rand's theme in Anthem, and I think she's absolutely right. All right. So Ayn Rand's fundamental point in this context is that evil is metaphysically impotent. And it's this very metaphysical impotence that makes it so dangerous. It's incapable of dealing firsthand with reality, and consequently can only survive as a parasite off of those who do. The Tooheys can only survive as parasites off of the Roarks. Notice Toohey's admiration for Keating. When he realized this, Roark designed Cortlandt, Keating put his name on it. Keating got the money. Keating got the recognition. Keating got the fame. Keating got the credit. Roark designed it. Toohey said, "You've accomplished what your fellow your second-handers have." He doesn't use that terminology, but your fellow parasites have been trying to do for millennia. You've harnessed the creators. You've made them your servant. So you don't need a welfare state. Peter, you don't need a welfare state. You don't need, to impose this legally on the Roarks. You got them to do it voluntarily. You're a genius. But this is the only way for the parasites to survive. Ayn Rand's point, of course, is reason. This is the theme in Atlas Shrugged. Reason is man's means of survival. The independent mind is man's means of survival. Anybody who's given up their mind, whether it's for faith or go by their feelings or to follow the group as a conformist, anybody who's given up their mind for whatever reason cannot survive. They can survive only parasitically. Consequently, they are a danger to the creative thinkers. So evil is metaphysically impotent.